So here's something really strange. Donald Trump is telling us that we need to cut our costs, so much so that they've been firing thousands of people across the federal government, an estimated 6,000 of whom are veterans, whilst at the same time they're using your tax dollars to help support Elon Musk's businesses. What do I mean? Welcome to Philosophy All Along. I'm a professional philosopher, and I like to use the tools of philosophy to help me understand things on a deeper level. Okay, so you've already heard about the whole thing on the White House lawn where Donald Trump bought a Tesla, and that was kind of acting like an advertisement for why we all should buy Teslas. Now, this is happening at the same time that Tesla's stock prices have been plummeting. Now, normally, when you have a business that's doing poorly, and in this case, it's not just because, like, oh, liberals, literally something like 8 recalls of the Tesla Cybertruck have happened already. They keep finding problems, having to recall it and fix it. Normally, if a business does something like that, you can expect its stock prices to fall. But our government is telling us to buy it. What no one's talked about, however, is the cost for us of things like Donald Trump going out and doing that. Now, he personally bought the Tesla, but the security, staffing, and logistics of an event like that, if past is precedent, costs between $100,000 and $500,000. Where's that money come from? Well, that's U.S. citizens' tax dollars. But you also may not have heard that Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, just came out the other day saying that everyone needs to buy Tesla stock, quoted saying it's never been lower. Yeah, it's never been lower because the stock has been plummeting. So he's telling us all to buy it. But you know what's weird about that? Is he was the CEO of Cantor Fitzgerald, and he has not divested his business interests since he's become part of the federal government. Why is that interesting? Because Cantor Fitzgerald owns something like 1.2 million shares in, guess what? That's right, you guessed it, Tesla. This is estimated over $300 million worth before the stock prices started dropping. So he is not currently the CEO. So how does he benefit from it? If he still owns equity, which is very common, or shares in his former company, when Tesla's stock improves, if his company owns stock in that, his stock improves as well. Or he might even still have Tesla stock. We have no way of knowing because he hasn't divested himself from these business dealings. So literally, the federal government is advertising for Elon Musk, telling citizens to purchase his shares, while at the same time, his business is doing worse. This is happening at the same time that they're terrorizing people at the VA. Why do I say terrorizing? This isn't just a matter of firing people. And people will ask me, well, how do you know it's happening? How do you know how many people have fired, so on and so forth? Honestly, it's really hard to tell. Why? They're not holding exit interviews. They're not able to say, okay, well, we fired this number of people for these specific reasons, and we have this kind of evidence to show that they were failing to do their jobs in X, Y, or Z. The firings have been so willy-nilly that in a fair number of cases, they've had to ask those people to come back. So we don't even know for sure. But the estimates are something like 2,400 VA staffers have been fired. Now, we do know that some of these people are coming out. We've had at least one person who was a veteran of the Air Force for 14 years working at the VA, saying that after he had been fired, he had been so depressed that he went to the VA to ask for mental health support. And they told him it would be something like 4 months before he could see a therapist, despite having PTSD and being in danger of going back into alcoholism. This is terrifying stuff. Now, this guy is not anonymous, but the people who are still working there, who are talking about the fact that they can't have private offices to hold therapy sessions anymore for clients, that they're trying to figure out how to stop canceling appointments because a whole bunch of appointments have been dropped or canceled because the whole thing is a mess. They're coming out anonymously. And you might say, well, that's proof that they're not saying the truth. I'm going to say what concerns me about them speaking anonymously is they're speaking anonymously because they're afraid that they're going to get fired for talking about what a mess things are over at the VA now that they've been making these cuts and they're not doing it in any kind of reasonable, logical, and methodical way. They're terrified of losing their jobs. Now, what's the irony of that? This is a country, in theory, where you have free speech. This is supposed to be something we're protecting. And we've seen that the Trump administration has been curtailing this more and more, like cracking down on student protests. But it's especially concerning when you realize it's veterans. What kind of country do you live in where veterans who literally work at the department that's supposed to serve veterans are afraid of speaking out about problems, corruption, or inefficiency because they're afraid that their country is going to come after them? What kind of reward is that? And what kind of nation are we when our veterans cannot speak the truth about their experience and about their government? Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. If you found this video of worth, please do like and subscribe. If you disagree or you have another thought, please add a comment. I always appreciate them, whether they agree or disagree. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.